Chapter 27. Now when Isaac was old, and his eyes were too weak to see, he called Esau his older son to him, and said,
"My son."
He replied,
"Here I am."
and he went on to say,
"I have now grown old. I do not know the day of my death. So at this time take, please, your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt some wild game for me. Then make the kind of tasty dish that I am fond of, and bring it to me. Then I will eat it, so that I may bless you before I die."
However, Rebekah was listening while Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went out into the field to hunt game and to bring it in. And Rebekah said to Jacob her son,
"I just heard your father speaking to your brother Esau, saying, 'Bring me some game and make me a tasty dish. Then let me eat so that I may bless you before Jehovah before my death.' And now, my son, listen carefully and do what I am instructing you. Go please to the herd and get me 2 of the best young goats from there, so that I may prepare from them a tasty dish for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, in order that he may bless you before his death."
Jacob said to his mother Rebekah,
"But Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and my skin is smooth. What if my father feels me? Then I will certainly appear to be mocking him, and I will bring upon myself a curse rather than a blessing."
At this, his mother said to him,
"Upon me be the curse meant for you, my son. Just do as I say and go. Get them for me."
So he went and got them and brought them to his mother. And his mother made a tasty dish, just the way his father liked it. After that, Rebekah took her older son Esau's finest garments, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She also put the skins of the young goats on his hands and on the hairless part of his neck. Then she handed the tasty dish and the bread that she had made to her son Jacob. So he went in to his father and said,
"My father."
To which he said,
"Here I am. Who are you, my son?"
Jacob said to his father,
"I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you told me. Sit up, please, and eat some of my game, so that you may bless me."
At that, Isaac said to his son,
"How were you so quick in finding it, my son?"
He replied,
"Because Jehovah your God brought it to me."
Then Isaac said to Jacob,
"Come near, please, that I may feel you, my son, to know whether you are really my son Esau or not."
So Jacob came near to his father Isaac, and he felt him, after which he said,
"The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau."
He did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy, like the hands of his brother Esau. So he blessed him. After that he asked,
"Are you really my son Esau?"
to which he replied,
"I am."
Then he said,
"Bring me some of the wild game for me to eat, my son. Then I will bless you."
With that he brought it to him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Then Isaac his father said to him,
"Come near, please, and kiss me, my son."
So he came near and kissed him, and he could smell the scent of his garments. Then he blessed him and said,
"See, the scent of my son is like the scent of the field that Jehovah has blessed. May the true God give you the dews of the heavens, and the fertile soils of the earth, and an abundance of grain and new wine. Let peoples serve you, and let nations bow low to you. Be master over your brothers, and let the sons of your mother bow low to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you."
Now Isaac had just finished blessing Jacob and Jacob had barely left the presence of his father Isaac when his brother Esau came back from his hunting. He too prepared a tasty dish and brought it to his father. And he said to his father,
"Let my father get up and eat some of his son's game, in order that you may bless me."
At this his father Isaac said to him,
Who are you?
to which he said,
"I am your son, your firstborn, Esau."
And Isaac began to tremble violently. So he said,
Who was it, then, who hunted for game and brought it to me? I already ate it before you arrived, and I blessed him, and he will surely be blessed.
On hearing his father's words, Esau began to cry out in an extremely loud and bitter manner, and to say to his father,
"Bless me. Yes, me too, my father."
But he said,
Your brother came deceitfully, so that he might get the blessing meant for you.
At this he said,
"Is he not rightly named Jacob, that he might supplant me these 2 times? My birthright he has already taken, and now he has taken my blessing."
Then he added,
"Have you not reserved a blessing for me?"
But Isaac answered Esau,
Here I have appointed him master over you, and I have given him all his brothers as servants, and I have bestowed grain and new wine for his support. What is left that I can do for you, my son?"
Esau said to his father,
"Is there just one blessing that you have, my father? Bless me. Yes, me too, my father."
With that Esau cried loudly and burst into tears. So his father Isaac answered him,
See, away from the fertile soils of the earth your dwelling will be, and away from the dew of the heavens above. And by your sword you will live, and you will serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you will indeed break his yoke off your neck.
However, Esau harbored animosity against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. And Esau kept saying in his heart,
"The days of mourning for my father are getting closer. After that, I am going to kill Jacob my brother."
When the words of her older son Esau were told to Rebekah, she at once sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him,
Look, your brother Esau is planning to take revenge by killing you. Now, my son, do as I say. Get up and run away to my brother Laban at Haran. Dwell with him for a while until your brother's rage calms down, until your brother's anger toward you subsides and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send for you from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day?"
After that, Rebekah kept saying to Isaac,
I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob ever takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like these daughters of the land, what good is my life?
Chapter 28. So Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and commanded him, saying,
You must not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Go away to Paddan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and from there take for yourself a wife from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. God Almighty will bless you and make you fruitful and multiply you, and you will certainly become a congregation of peoples. And he will give to you the blessing of Abraham, to you and to your offspring with you, so that you may take possession of the land where you have been living as a foreigner, which God has given to Abraham.
So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he departed for Paddan Aram, to Laban, the son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and had sent him away to Paddan Aram to take a wife from there, and that when he blessed him, he commanded him, Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and departed for Paddan Aram. Esau then realized that the daughters of Canaan were displeasing to his father Isaac. So Esau went to Ishmael, and took his wife Mahalath, the daughter of Abraham's son Ishmael, the sister of Nebaioth, in addition to the other wives he already had. Jacob departed from Beersheba and kept going toward Haran. In time he came to a place and prepared to spend the night there, because the sun had set. So he took one of the stones of that place and set it to rest his head on, and lay down there. Then he had a dream, and look, there was a stairway set on the earth, and its top reached up to the heavens, and there were God's angels ascending and descending on it. And look, there was Jehovah stationed above it. And he said, I am Jehovah, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you are lying, to you I am going to give it, and to your offspring. And your offspring will certainly become like the dust particles of the earth, and you will spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And by means of you and by means of your offspring, all the families of the ground will certainly be blessed. I am with you, and I will safeguard you wherever you go, and I will return you to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said,
Truly, Jehovah is in this place, and I did not know it.
And he grew fearful and added,
How awe-inspiring this place is. This can only be the house of God, and this is the gate of the heavens.
So Jacob got up early in the morning, and took the stone on which he had rested his head, and set it up as a pillar, and poured oil on top of it. So he named that place Bethel, but previously the city's name was Luz. Jacob then made a vow, saying,
If God will continue with me, and will protect me on my journey, and will give me bread to eat and garments to wear, and I return in peace to the house of my father, then Jehovah will certainly have proved to be my God. And this stone that I have set up as a pillar will become a house of God, and without fail, I will give you 1/10 of everything you give to me.
Chapter 29. After that, Jacob resumed his journey, and traveled on to the land of the people of the east. Now he saw a well in the field, and 3 droves of sheep lying down next to it, because they usually watered the droves from that well. There was a large stone over the mouth of the well. When all the droves had been gathered there, they rolled away the stone from the mouth of the well, and they watered the flocks, after which they returned the stone to its place over the mouth of the well. So Jacob said to them,
My brothers, what place are you from?
To which they said,
We are from Haran.
He said to them,
Do you know Laban, the grandson of Nahor?
To which they said,
We know him.
At this he said to them,
Is he well?
They replied,
He is well. And here is his daughter Rachel, coming with the sheep.
Then he said,
It is still the middle of the day. It is not the time for gathering the herds. Water the sheep, and then go feed them.
To this they said,
We are not allowed to do so until all the droves are gathered, and they roll the stone away from the mouth of the well. Then we water the sheep.
While he was yet speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. When Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, Jacob immediately approached and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well, and watered the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother. Then Jacob kissed Rachel, and raised his voice and burst into tears. And Jacob began to tell Rachel that he was the relative of her father, and that he was the son of Rebekah. And she ran off and told her father. As soon as Laban heard the report about Jacob, the son of his sister, he ran to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him and brought him into his house. And he began to tell Laban all these things. Laban said to him,
"You are indeed my bone and my flesh."
So he stayed with him a full month. Laban then said to Jacob,
"Just because you are my relative, should you serve me for nothing? Tell me, what are your wages to be?"
Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger, Rachel. But the eyes of Leah had no luster, whereas Rachel had become a very attractive and beautiful woman. Jacob had fallen in love with Rachel, so he said,
I am willing to serve you 7 years for your younger daughter, Rachel.
To this Laban said,
"It is better for me to give her to you than to give her to another man. Keep dwelling with me."
And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, but in his eyes they were like just a few days because of his love for her. Then Jacob said to Laban,
Give over my wife, because my days are up, and let me have relations with her.
With that, Laban gathered all the men of the place and made a feast. But during the evening, he resorted to taking his daughter Leah and bringing her to him, that he might have relations with her. Laban also gave his female servant Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a servant. In the morning, Jacob saw that it was Leah. So he said to Laban,
What have you done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served you? Why have you tricked me?
To this Laban said,
"It is not our custom here to give the younger woman before the firstborn. Celebrate the week of this woman. After that, you will also be given this other woman in exchange for serving me 7 more years."
Jacob did so, and celebrated the week of this woman, after which he gave him his daughter Rachel as a wife. Besides, Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as her servant. Then Jacob had relations also with Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and he served him for another 7 years. When Jehovah saw that Leah was unloved, he then enabled her to become pregnant, but Rachel was barren. So Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and named him Reuben, for she said,
It is because Jehovah has looked upon my affliction, for now my husband will begin to love me.
And she again became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and then said,
It is because Jehovah has listened, in that I was unloved, so he gave me this one also.
Then she named him Simeon. And she became pregnant yet again, and gave birth to a son, and then said,
Now this time my husband will join himself to me, because I have borne him 3 sons.
Therefore he was named Levi. And she became pregnant once more, and gave birth to a son, and then said,
This time I will praise Jehovah.
She therefore named him Judah. After that, she stopped giving birth. Chapter 30. When Rachel saw that she had borne no children to Jacob, she became jealous of her sister, and began to say to Jacob,
Give me children, or else I will die.
At this Jacob's anger flared up against Rachel, and he said,
Am I in the place of God, who has prevented you from having children?
So she said,
Here is my slave girl Bilhah. Have relations with her, in order that she may bear children for me, and that through her I too may have children.
With that, she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife, and Jacob had relations with her. Bilhah became pregnant, and in time bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said,
God has acted as my judge, and has also listened to my voice, so that he gave me a son.
That is why she named him Dan. Bilhah, Rachel's servant, became pregnant once more, and in time bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said,
With strenuous wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister. I have also come off the winner.
So she named him Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had stopped having children, she took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. And Leah's servant Zilpah bore a son to Jacob. Then Leah said,
With good fortune.
So she named him Gad. After that, Zilpah, Leah's servant, bore a second son to Jacob. Then Leah said,
With my happiness, for the daughters will certainly pronounce me happy.
So she named him Asher. Now Reuben was walking in the days of the wheat harvest, and he found mandrakes in the field. So he brought them to his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah,
Give me, please, some of your son's mandrakes.
At this she said to her,
Is it a small matter that you took my husband? Would you now take my son's mandrakes also?
So Rachel said,
Very well. He will lie down with you tonight in exchange for your son's mandrakes.
When Jacob was coming from the field in the evening, Leah went out to meet him and said,
It is with me you are going to have relations, because I have hired you outright with my son's mandrakes.
So he lay down with her that night. And God heard and answered Leah, and she became pregnant, and in time bore to Jacob a fifth son. Then Leah said,
God has given me my wages, because I have given my servant to my husband.
So she named him Issachar. And Leah became pregnant once more, and in time bore a sixth son to Jacob. Then Leah said,
God has endowed me, yes, me, with a good endowment. At last, my husband will tolerate me, for I have borne him 6 sons.
So she named him Zebulun. Afterward she bore a daughter, and named her Dinah. Finally, God remembered Rachel, and God heard and answered her by enabling her to become pregnant. And she became pregnant, and gave birth to a son. Then she said,
God has taken away my reproach.
So she named him Joseph, saying,
Jehovah is adding another son to me.
After Rachel had given birth to Joseph, Jacob immediately said to Laban,
Send me away, so that I may go to my place and to my land. Give over my wives and my children, for whom I have served with you, that I may go, for you well know how I have served you.
Then Laban said to him,
If I have found favor in your eyes, I have understood by the omens that Jehovah is blessing me because of you.
And he added,
Stipulate your wages to me, and I will give them.
So Jacob said to him,
You know how I have served you, and how your herd has fared with me. You had little before my coming, but your herd has increased and multiplied, and Jehovah has blessed you since I arrived. So when will I do something for my own house?
Then he said,
What should I give you?
And Jacob said,
You will give me nothing whatsoever. If you will do this one thing for me, I will resume shepherding your flock and guarding it. I will pass through your whole flock today. You set aside from there every sheep speckled and with color patches, and every dark brown sheep among the young rams, and any color patched and speckled one among the she-goats. From now on, these must become my wages. And my righteousness must speak for me on a future day, when you come to look over my wages. Every one that is not speckled and color patched among the she-goats, and dark brown among the young rams, will be considered stolen if it is with me.
To this Laban said,
That is fine. Let it be according to your word.
Then on that day he set aside the he-goats striped and color-patched, and all the she-goats speckled and color-patched, every one in which there was any white, and every one dark brown among the young rams, and gave them into the care of his sons. After that, he set a distance of 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob was shepherding the flocks of Laban that remained over. Jacob then took freshly cut staffs of the storax, almond, and plane trees, and he peeled white spots in them by exposing the white wood of the staffs. Then he placed the staffs that he had peeled in front of the flock, in the gutters, in the drinking troughs, where the flocks would come to drink, that they might get into heat in front of them when they came to drink. So the flocks would get into heat in front of the staffs, and the flocks would produce striped, speckled, and color-patched offspring. Then Jacob separated the young rams and turned the flocks to face the striped ones and all the dark brown ones among the flocks of Laban. Then he separated his own flocks and did not mix them with Laban's flocks. And whenever the robust animals would get into heat, Jacob would place the staffs in the gutters before the eyes of the flocks, that they might get into heat by the staffs. But when the animals were weak, he would not place the staffs there. So the weak ones always came to be Laban's, but the robust ones became Jacob's. And the man grew very prosperous, and he acquired great flocks, and male and female servants, and camels, and donkeys. Chapter 31. In time, he heard what the sons of Laban were saying.
Jacob has taken everything that belonged to our father, and from what belonged to our father, he has amassed all this wealth.
When Jacob would look at the face of Laban, he saw that his attitude toward him was not what it used to be. Finally, Jehovah said to Jacob, "Return to the land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I will continue with you." Then Jacob sent a message to Rachel and Leah to come out to the field to his flock, and he said to them,
I have seen that your father's attitude toward me has changed, but the God of my father has been with me. You yourselves certainly know that I have served your father with all my power. And your father has tried to cheat me and has changed my wages 10 times. But God has not allowed him to do me harm. If on the one hand he would say, "The speckled ones will be your wages," then the whole flock produced speckled ones. But if on the other hand he would say, "The striped ones will be your wages," then the whole flock produced striped ones. So God kept taking your father's livestock away from him and giving it to me. Once, when the flock got into heat, I raised my eyes and saw in a dream that the he-goats mating with the flock were striped, speckled, and spotty. Then the angel of the true God said to me in the dream, "Jacob," to which I said, "Here I am." And he continued, "Raise your eyes, please, and see that all the he-goats mating with the flock are striped, speckled, and spotty, for I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. I am the true God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar, and where you made a vow to me. Now get up, go out of this land, and return to the land of your birth."
At this, Rachel and Leah answered him,
Is there any share left for us to inherit in our father's house?
Does he not consider us as foreigners, since he has sold us and has been using up the money given for us?
All the riches that God has taken away from our father are ours and our children's. So then, do everything that God has told you to do.
Then Jacob got up and lifted his children and his wives on the camels, and he began driving all his herd and all the goods that he had accumulated, the livestock in his possession that he had accumulated in Paddan Aram, to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. Now Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel stole the teraphim statues that belonged to her father. Moreover, Jacob outwitted Laban the Aramean, for he had not told him that he was running away. And he ran away and crossed the river, he and all he had. Then he headed toward the mountainous region of Gilead. On the third day, Laban was told that Jacob had run away. So he took his brothers with him and pursued him for a journey of 7 days, and caught up with him in the mountainous region of Gilead. Then God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream by night, and said to him, "Be careful about what you say to Jacob, either good or bad." So Laban approached Jacob, as Jacob had pitched his tent in the mountain, and Laban had encamped with his brothers in the mountainous region of Gilead. Then Laban said to Jacob,
What have you done? Why have you resorted to outwitting me and carrying my daughters off like captives taken by the sword? Why did you run away secretly and outwit me and not tell me? If you had told me, I could have sent you away with rejoicing and with songs, with tambourine and with harp. But you did not give me a chance to kiss my grandchildren and my daughters. You have acted foolishly. It is in my power to do harm to you. But the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, Be careful about what you say to Jacob, either good or bad. Now you have gone because you have been longing to return to the house of your father. But why have you stolen my gods?
Jacob answered Laban,
It was because I was afraid, for I said to myself, You might take your daughters away from me by force. Anyone with whom you find your gods will not live. Before our brothers, examine what I have and take what is yours.
But Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. So Laban went into the tent of Jacob, and into the tent of Leah, and into the tent of the 2 slave girls, but did not find them. Then he came out of Leah's tent and went into Rachel's tent. Meanwhile, Rachel had taken the teraphim statues and put them in the woman's saddle basket of the camel, and she was sitting on them. So Laban searched through the whole tent, but did not find them. Then she said to her father,
Do not be angry, my lord, because I am not able to get up before you, for the customary thing with women is upon me.
So he searched on carefully, but did not find the teraphim statues. At that Jacob became angry and began to criticize Laban. Jacob then said to Laban,
What is my offense? And for what sin are you hotly pursuing me? Now that you have searched through all my goods, what have you found that belongs to your house? Put it here in front of my brothers and your brothers, and let them decide between the 2 of us. During these 20 years that I have been with you, your sheep and your goats never miscarried, and I never ate the rams of your flock. I did not bring you any animal torn by wild beasts. I would stand the loss of it myself, whether the animal was stolen by day or was stolen by night. You would demand compensation from me. By day the heat consumed me, and the cold by night, and sleep would flee from my eyes. This makes 20 years for me in your house. I have served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flock. And you kept changing my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the one whom Isaac fears had not been on my side, you would now have sent me away empty-handed. God has seen my affliction and the toil of my hands, and that is why he reproved you last night.
Then Laban answered Jacob,
The daughters are my daughters, and the children my children, and the flock my flock, and everything you are looking at is mine and my daughters. What can I do today against these or against their children whom they have borne? Now come, let us make a covenant, you and I, and it will serve as a witness between us.
So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar. Then Jacob said to his brothers,
Pick up stones.
And they took stones and made a pile. After that they ate there on the pile of stones. And Laban began calling it Jegar-sahadutha, but Jacob called it Gilead. Laban then said,
This pile of stones is a witness between me and you today.
That is why he named it Gilead and the watchtower. For he said,
Let Jehovah keep watch between you and me when we are out of each other's sight. If you mistreat my daughters, and if you start taking wives in addition to my daughters, though there is no man with us, remember that God will be a witness between you and me.
Laban went on to say to Jacob,
Here is this pile of stones, and here is the pillar that I have erected between you and me. This pile of stones is a witness, and the pillar is something that bears witness, that I will not pass beyond this pile of stones to bring harm to you, and you will not pass beyond this pile of stones and this pillar to bring harm to me. Let the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us.
And Jacob swore by the one whom his father Isaac fears. After that, Jacob offered a sacrifice in the mountain and invited his brothers to eat bread. So they ate and spent the night in the mountain. However, Laban got up early in the morning and kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. Then Laban departed and returned home. Chapter 32. Jacob then went on his way, and the angels of God met up with him. As soon as he saw them, Jacob said,
This is the camp of God.
So he named that place Mahanaim. Then Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the territory of Edom, and he commanded them,
This is what you will say to my lord, to Esau. This is what your servant Jacob says. I have resided with Laban for a long time until now, and I have acquired bulls, donkeys, sheep, and male and female servants, and I send this message to inform my lord, in order to find favor in your eyes.
In time the messengers returned to Jacob, saying,
We met your brother Esau, and he is now on his way to meet you, and there are 400 men with him.
And Jacob became very frightened and anxious. So he divided the people who were with him, as well as the flocks, the cattle, and the camels, into 2 camps. He said,
If Esau attacks the one camp, then the other camp will be able to escape.
After that, Jacob said,
O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, O Jehovah, you who are saying to me, Return to your land and to your relatives, and I will deal well with you. I am unworthy of all the loyal love and of all the faithfulness that you have shown toward your servant. For with only my staff I crossed this Jordan, and now I have become 2 camps. Save me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid of him, that he may come and attack me, as well as the mothers and their children. And you have said, I will certainly deal well with you, and I will make your offspring like the grains of sand of the sea, which are too numerous to count.
And he spent the night there. Then he took some of his possessions as a gift for Esau his brother: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 female sheep, 20 rams, 30 camels nursing their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 full-grown male donkeys. He handed them over to his servants. One drove after another, and he said to his servants,
Cross over ahead of me, and you are to set a space between one drove and the next.
He also commanded the first one,
In case Esau my brother should meet you and ask, To whom do you belong, and where are you going? And to whom do these ahead of you belong? Then you should say, To your servant Jacob. It is a gift sent to my lord, to Esau. And look, he himself is also behind us."
And he commanded also the second, the third, and all those following the droves.
"According to this word, you are to speak to Esau when you meet him. And you should also say, 'Here is your servant Jacob behind us.'"
For he said to himself,
"If I appease him by sending a gift ahead of me, then afterward when I see him, he may give me a kindly reception."
So the gift crossed over ahead of him, but he himself spent the night in the camp. Later during that night he rose and took his 2 wives and his 2 female servants and his 11 young sons, and crossed over the ford of Jabbok. So he took them and brought them across the stream, and he brought over everything else he had. Finally Jacob was left by himself. Then a man began to wrestle with him until the dawn broke. When he saw that he had not prevailed over him, he touched the socket of his hip, and the socket of Jacob's hip was dislocated during his wrestling with him. After that he said,
"Let me go, for the dawn is breaking."
To this he said,
"I am not going to let you go until you bless me."
So he said to him,
"What is your name?"
To which he said,
"Jacob."
Then he said,
"Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, for you have contended with God and with men, and you have at last prevailed."
In turn Jacob inquired,
"Tell me, please, your name."
However he said,
"Why is it that you ask my name?"
With that he blessed him there. So Jacob named the place Peniel, for he said,
"I have seen God face to face, yet my life was preserved."
And the sun rose upon him as soon as he passed by Penuel, but he was limping because of his hip. That is why to this day the sons of Israel are not accustomed to eat the thigh sinew, which is on the socket of the hip joint, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip joint by the thigh sinew. Chapter 33. Now Jacob raised his eyes and saw Esau coming, and 400 men were with him. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the 2 female servants. He put the female servants and their children in front, Leah and her children after them, and Rachel and Joseph behind them. Then he himself went ahead of them, and bowed down to the earth 7 times as he came near to his brother. But Esau ran to meet him, and he embraced him and kissed him, and they burst into tears. When he raised his eyes and saw the women and the children, he said,
"Who are these with you?"
To which he said,
"The children with whom God has favored your servant."
At that the female servants came forward with their children and bowed down. And Leah too came forward with her children, and they bowed down. Then Joseph came forward with Rachel, and they bowed down. Esau said,
"What is the purpose of all this camp of travelers that I have met?"
He replied,
"In order to find favor in the eyes of my Lord."
Then Esau said,
"I have a great many possessions, my brother. Keep what is yours."
However Jacob said,
"No, please. If I have found favor in your eyes, you must take my gift from my hand, because I brought it so that I could see your face. And I have seen your face, as though seeing God's face, in that you received me with pleasure. Take, please, the gift conveying my blessing that was brought to you. For God has favored me, and I have everything I need."
and he continued to urge him, so that he took it. Later Esau said,
"Let us move out and go, and let me go in advance of you."
But he said to him,
My Lord is aware that the children are delicate, and that in my care are sheep and cattle nursing their young. If they are driven too quickly for one day, then the whole flock will die. Let my Lord, please, go on ahead of his servant, but I will continue the journey more slowly, at the pace of my livestock and of the children, until I come to my Lord at Seir.
Then Esau said,
Please, let me leave some of my people with you.
To this he said,
Why do this? Just let me find favor in the eyes of my Lord.
So that day Esau went on his way back to Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and he built a house for himself, and he made shelters for his herd. That was why he named the place Succoth. After journeying from Paddan Aram, Jacob arrived safely at the city of Shechem in the land of Canaan, and he set up his camp near the city. Then he acquired a portion of the field where he pitched his tent from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of money. There he set up an altar and called it God, the God of Israel. Chapter 34. Now Dinah, Jacob's daughter by Leah, used to go out to spend time with the young women of the land. When Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, a chieftain of the land, saw her, he took her and lay down with her and violated her. And he became very attached to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he fell in love with the young woman and spoke persuasively to her. Finally Shechem said to Hamor his father,
Get me this young woman to be my wife.
When Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter, his sons were with his herd in the field. So Jacob kept silent until they returned. Later Hamor, Shechem's father, went out to speak with Jacob. But the sons of Jacob heard about it and returned from the field right away. They were offended and very angry because he had disgraced Israel by lying down with Jacob's daughter, something that should not be done. Hamor spoke with them, saying,
My son Shechem longs for your daughter. Please give her to him as his wife and form marriage alliances with us. Give us your daughters and take our daughters for yourselves. You may dwell with us, and the land will become available for you. Dwell and carry on trade in it and settle in it.
Then Shechem said to her father and to her brothers,
Let me find favor in your eyes, and I will give you whatever you ask me. You can demand from me a very high bride price and gift. I am willing to give whatever you may say to me. Just give me the young woman as a wife.
And Jacob's sons answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. They said to them,
We cannot possibly do such a thing, to give our sister to a man who is not circumcised, for that is a disgrace to us.
We can only consent on this condition, that you become like us and circumcise all your males. Then we will give our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters for ourselves, and we will dwell with you and become one people.
But if you do not listen to us and get circumcised, then we will take our daughter and go.
Their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. The young man did not delay in doing what they asked, because he found delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was the most honorable of the whole house of his father. So Hamor and his son Shechem went to the city gate and spoke to the men of their city, saying,
These men wish to be at peace with us. Let them dwell in the land and carry on trade in it, for the land is large enough to accommodate them. We can take their daughters as wives, and our daughters we can give to them.
Only on this one condition will the men consent to dwell with us in order to become one people, that every male among us be circumcised just the way they are circumcised.
Then will not their possessions, their wealth, and all their livestock be ours? So let us give them our consent, that they may dwell with us.
All those going up by the gate of his city listened to Hamor and to his son Shechem, and all the males got circumcised, all those going out of the city gate. However, on the third day, when they were still in pain, 2 sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, each took his sword and went into the unsuspecting city and killed every male. They killed Hamor and his son Shechem with the sword, and then took Dinah from Shechem's house and left. Jacob's other sons came upon the slain men and plundered the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their flocks, their herds, their donkeys, and whatever was in the city and in the field. They also took all their possessions, captured all their little children and their wives, and plundered everything in the houses. At this Jacob said to Simeon and to Levi,
"You have brought great trouble on me in making me a stench to the inhabitants of the land, to the Canaanites and the Perizzites. I am few in number, and they will certainly gather together to attack me, and I will be annihilated, I and my house."
But they said,
"Should anyone treat our sister like a prostitute?"
Chapter 35. After that God said to Jacob, "Rise, go up to Bethel and dwell there, and make an altar there to the true God, who appeared to you when you were running away from Esau your brother." Then Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him,
"Get rid of the foreign gods that are in your midst, and cleanse yourselves and change your garments, and let us rise and go up to Bethel. There I will make an altar to the true God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and who has been with me wherever I have gone."
So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods they had, and the earrings that were in their ears, and Jacob buried them under the big tree that was close to Shechem. When they traveled on, the terror of God struck the cities around them, so they did not chase after the sons of Jacob. Jacob eventually came to Luz, that is, Bethel, in the land of Canaan, he and all the people with him. There he built an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there the true God had revealed himself to him when he had run away from his brother. Later, Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died and was buried at the foot of Bethel under an oak. So he named it Allon-Bachuth. God appeared to Jacob once again while he was coming from Paddan Aram and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob. Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel will be your name." And he began to call him Israel. God further said to him, "I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and become many. Nations and a congregation of nations will come from you, and kings will descend from you. As for the land that I have given to Abraham and to Isaac, to you I will give it, and to your offspring after you I will give the land." Then God went up from him at the place where he had spoken with him. So Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he had spoken with him, a pillar of stone, and he poured a drink offering on it and poured oil on it. And Jacob continued to call the place where God had spoken with him Bethel. Then they pulled away from Bethel, and while they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel began to give birth, and her labor was very difficult. But while she was struggling to deliver the child, the midwife said to her,
"Do not be afraid, for you will have this son also."
Just as her life was slipping away, for she was dying, she named him Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is, Bethlehem. Jacob set up a pillar over her grave. It is the pillar of Rachel's grave to this day. After that, Israel pulled away and pitched his tent a distance beyond the Tower of Eder. Once, while Israel was dwelling in that land, Reuben went and lay down with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard about it. So there were 12 sons of Jacob. The sons by Leah were Jacob's firstborn Reuben, then Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons by Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. And the sons by Bilhah, Rachel's servant, were Dan and Naphtali. And the sons by Zilpah, Leah's servant, were Gad and Asher. These are Jacob's sons, who were born to him in Paddan Aram. Jacob eventually came to where his father Isaac was, at Mamre, to Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and also Isaac had resided as foreigners. Isaac lived to be 180 years old. Then Isaac breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people after a long and satisfying life. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Chapter 36. This is the history of Esau, that is, Edom. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the granddaughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, the sister of Nebaioth. And Adah bore Eliphaz to Esau, and Basemath bore Ruel, and Aholibamah bore Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, who were born to him in the land of Canaan. After that, Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, all the members of his household, his herd, and all his other beasts, and all the wealth he had accumulated in the land of Canaan. And he went to another land, some distance away from Jacob his brother, for their goods had become too many for them to dwell together, and the land where they were residing was not able to sustain them because of their herds. So Esau took up dwelling in the mountainous region of Seir. Esau is Edom. And this is the history of Esau the father of Edom in the mountainous region of Seir. These are the names of the sons of Esau: Eliphaz the son of Adah, Esau's wife; Ruel the son of Basemath, Esau's wife. The sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Timnah became the concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son. In time she bore to Eliphaz Amalek. These are the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Ruel: Nahath, Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the granddaughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife, whom she bore to Esau: Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the sheiks of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, Esau's firstborn: Sheik Teman, Sheik Omar, Sheik Zepho, Sheik Kenaz, Sheik Korah, Sheik Gatam, and Sheik Amalek. These are the sheiks of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These are the sons by Adah. These are the sons of Ruel, Esau's son: Sheik Nahath, Sheik Zerah, Sheik Shema, and Sheik Mizah. These are the sheiks of Ruel in the land of Edom. These are the sons by Basemath, Esau's wife. Finally, these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife: Sheik Jeush, Sheik Jalam, and Sheik Korah. These are the sheiks of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, and these are their sheiks. He is Edom. These are the sons of Seir the Horite, the inhabitants of the land: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. These are the sheiks of the Horites, the sons of Seir, in the land of Edom. The sons of Lotan were Horai and Hemam, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. These are the sons of Shobal: Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. These are the sons of Zibeon: Aiah and Anah. This is the Anah who found the hot springs in the wilderness, while he was tending the donkeys for Zibeon his father. These are the children of Anah, Dishon and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah. These are the sons of Dishon, Hemdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Kiran. These are the sons of Ezer, Bilhan, Zaavan, and Akan. These are the sons of Dishan, Az and Aran. These are the sheiks of the Horites, Sheik Lotan, Sheik Shobal, Sheik Zibeon, Sheik Anah, Sheik Dishon, Sheik Ezer, and Sheik Dishan. These are the sheiks of the Horites, according to their sheiks in the land of Seir. Now these are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom, before any king reigned over the Israelites. Bela, son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. When Bela died, Jobab, son of Zerah from Bozrah, began to reign in his place. When Jobab died, Husham from the land of the Temanites began to reign in his place. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, who defeated the Midianites in the territory of Moab, began to reign in his place, and the name of his city was Avith. When Hadad died, Samlah from Masrekah began to reign in his place. When Samlah died, Shael from Rehoboth by the river began to reign in his place. When Shael died, Baal-Hanan, the son of Akbor, began to reign in his place. When Baal-Hanan, the son of Akbor, died, Hadar began to reign in his place. The name of his city was Peu, and the name of his wife was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mizahab. So these are the names of the sheiks of Esau, according to their families, according to their places, by their names: Sheik Timnah, Sheik Alva, Sheik Jetheth, Sheik Aholibamah, Sheik Elah, Sheik Pinon, Sheik Kenaz, Sheik Teman, Sheik Mibzah, Sheik Magdiel, and Sheik Iram. These are the sheiks of Edom, according to their settlements in the land of their possession. This is Esau, the father of Edom.